Hey guys, it's Kingdom Orange 2 here, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to talk about the short-lived Mermaid High doll line. Initially launched in 2021 by Spin Master, it's centered around 4 girls who attended Mermaid High. But their big secret, they were actual mermaids. I will touch on my thoughts about the cartoon and dolls themselves, their continuing success, competition from other doll companies, and prototypes of the original dolls from the designer, as well as unreleased doll lines. Now with all that being said, let's jump right into it. Dolls. Mermaid High initially launched with 4 characters. Mari, the rocker goth girl, Oceana, the sporty one, Sierra, the glam girl, and Finley, the bohemian chick. Each doll was about 11 inches tall, was articulated, had a fabric removable tail, long hair, a second outfit, and came with a student ID that also contained fun facts about the character. While I will say that the artwork for the dolls was beyond stunning, and the unique designs for each character were really cute, I never thought the dolls were worth their retail price. For starters, the doll's hair was awful. It was made out of nylon, which is the same material used in those 2010 Bratz dolls. It's really cheap and makes the doll's hair hard to brush because it's easily prone to tangles. Also, their articulation wasn't great as they were only able to bend at their elbows and knees. Another thing that bothered me about the dolls is the fact that they would use cheap materials in exchange for better ones. For example, Oceana is clearly wearing a rash guard with sleeves, but it's sewn together in one piece. She also has on a skirt with a bow, but instead of being an actual ribbon, it's printed onto her skirt. Although it would be technically expensive to include more material on these dolls, yes, Mari would not have metal chains on her tail. At least doll lines like Rainbow High have actual fabric purses and different hair textures. But in Mermaid High's defense, I did really enjoy reading their character bios, especially with the amount of puns they contain, such as Oceana's favorite food being Finnin' Out, and Finley's catchphrase to be Merstay. It reminded me a lot of the lexicon they used in Monster High, and while at times it could be kind of annoying, I always thought it was really smart and catchy. Also, each girl mentions that they have a pet. Well, I don't know why they decided not to include them. I think it would have been a great accessory to come with the doll or sell separately. The cartoon. The Mermaid High cartoon was uploaded bi-weekly on their YouTube page, and each episode was roughly around 3 minutes in length. The cartoon followed our girls as they struggled to adjust to their human lives, while still keeping the fact that they were mermaids a secret. The show eventually ends with their cover being blown as they flee back into the ocean. 2 months later though, the mermaids visit their friend Cora and bring her to their underwater hideout. When she asks them if they ever plan on returning to Mermaid High, the girls tell her that they will eventually. I personally really liked the cartoon. I thought the animation looked very nice, especially when it came to the movement of the girls' hair. I do wish, however, that the webisodes would have been a little longer, as I did feel like the plot lines they had were solid, but they were told way too quickly. My only complaint would have been that the cartoon was too similar to H2O Just Add Water, which also featured high school girls who had to keep their mermaid identities a secret. What's also strange to me is if Spin Master wanted this to be their main storyline, why do they have the girls exposed as mermaids in only their 11th episode? Continuing success and competition. Following the release of the first wave of dolls, Spin Master launched their next line, Spring Break. The line featured each of the girls in new designs, while also introducing a new character, Rainier, who had a gamer nerd look. The dolls also had streaks in their hair which would change when exposed to sunlight. Although never officially released, images of 2 future doll lines were leaked on Instagram around January. The first was called Slumber Party and featured Oceana, Finley, and a new character named Hallie. The second doll line was called Prom Night, and both artwork and prototypes were created. This line was going to feature Finley, Sierra, Oceana, as well as another new girl named Xenia. And while a prototype was never leaked, we did see an image of a 2-pack with a Josh doll and a silhouette of a mystery girl. But unfortunately for Spin Master, a couple of months after the release of Mermaid High, MGA released their own mermaid dolls called Mermaids. While a completely different concept than Mermaid High, the dolls featured glass eyes, sarin hair, more articulation, and a molded-on tail that would change when placed in cold water. Honestly, when compared to Mermaids, I really prefer the more cartoon looks of Mermaid High over the more realistic glass eyes of the Mermaids dolls. I also thought that the Mermaid High characters had more of a unique style to them than the Mermaids ones did, and while many will argue that they preferred the removable tail of the Mermaid High dolls, I think that the Mermaids dolls were overall way more expensive looking with their fabric clothes, glass eyes, and intricate hairstyles, and since they were both sold around the same price, I can see why more people would choose Mermaids. I also quickly want to talk about the Mermaids cartoon. While it's just as stunning as the Mermaid High cartoon and has a great theme song, I find the plot to be super boring. Apparently their Mystic City is in danger and Aura has chosen each of the girls for their talents to help her tackle what lies ahead. And although the cartoon has just started and could arguably be getting better, it's hard for me to believe that a social media influencer like Kashiko would be used to save a city. Cancellation. I didn't initially suspect anything was wrong until I stumbled upon their YouTube channel and realized the last time they uploaded was 3 months ago. While I thought they had been taking a break for a new season, it seems strange they weren't uploading videos in the spring, especially when they just released a spring break doll line. On top of that, I saw an Instagram story that showed Target was selling Mermaid High dolls for only $5. Although this could have meant that they were simply clearing inventory, that's never a good sign. And a couple days ago, I was scrolling on Twitter when I saw this comment made by user Steven Sumner 1969. In it, he claims that Mermaid High had a completely different design aesthetic when it was first created, but was changed many times by upper management. He also proceeds to tell us that it took so long for the spring break dolls to be released that retailers canceled future orders of the doll line. The next day, Steven Sumner 1969 posted photos on his Instagram page of his prototypes and original designs for Mermaid High. He also explains in the description that they decided to use one face mold to save money for articulating the elbows, and that the original face molds were changed because management thought the characters looked too old. Now in my opinion, I think that the newer designs were better than the prototypes. I'm happy that they spent money on articulation because I think these dolls would have been a complete disaster without it. And the only thing I would have kept from the old designs were Sierra's and Oceana's face paints, as they are strikingly more beautiful than the newer ones. I really had high hopes for this doll line. When I first saw it, I immediately fell in love with the mermaid designs, as Ariel is definitely my favorite princess and I adore everything fairy and mermaid related. I also felt like Spin Master did a great job of capitalizing on the growing trend of high school doll lines, especially with the success of Rainbow High and the reboot of Monster High. And what's also kind of a bummer is now that we'll never get to see the newer characters being introduced in the cartoons or their dolls being released. I really like Xenia's design and her hair was totally awesome. I did, however, have a really bad feeling that once Mermaids came out, that Mermaid High was in trouble. I do know that both mermaid dolls could have competed, but at the end of the day, MGA is just a bigger company with more money to make better dolls. It's just kind of the world we live in. And before I wrap everything up, I do want to say that Spin Master hasn't made an official statement about Mermaid High being cancelled. I wonder if they will do so in the future or if they'll just delete the social media pages when they feel like it. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts about this cancellation. Did you see it coming like me, or were you completely shocked? Also, tell me what you think would have made a good plotline for Mermaid High, and ways you wish the dolls were better or would have kept them the same. If you liked this video today and want to see more content in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you soon. Bye!